Welcome to Crafty Little Beach. This is Julie. Today I have a Dollar Tree DIY for you. For this DIY, I found this little wood cutout from the Crafter Square at Dollar Tree. It is a wood honeycomb and it's already got like the wood honeycomb pattern cut out like this with the bee on there. So a lot of the work's already done for me. But I wanted to see if I can combine a couple items and really make this item pop. So the first thing I need to do is paint this. I'm going to use a bright yellow acrylic paint and I'm just using a makeup sponge and I'm just going to go all over here and paint our honeycomb yellow. I want to combine a couple different signs together to really kind of make this extra special. And again, you can find a lot of like hexagon shaped signs from the Dollar Tree that would work for this. So I kind of went around, I was trying to avoid my bee if I could from painting it yellow. So I did go in here with a tiny brush and try to get some of the honeycomb. But again, when these signs are attached together like this, it becomes kind of inevitable that you're going to get some paint on there. So I did, and I just decided to embrace it and paint the entire thing yellow. Now, I do want it to be wood looking though. So once it's yellow, I went over it with some antique wax by Waverly. I didn't want this one to be super colorful. You could if you wanted, but I wanted the wings to kind of look like a stained wood and kind of an opaque looking material. And then I decided to do the whole bee that color because I kind of liked the way that it was looking, the antique wax by Waverly over the yellow paint. So I just go in and try not to get any on the back if I can, and just do the little legs and of course the wings there of it. And then I can go back in and wipe off the excess stain, and a little bit of the yellow pops through, but of course I did get a little antique wax by Waverly where I didn't want it. So I'm gonna go in with some more yellow and kind of touch up our little honeycomb cell to make it look a little bit better. Now, the next item I wanted to add was another one of the hexagon signs from the Dollar Tree, the wood slat. This one's black. And I also want to have some burlap behind it as well. For the burlap, I'm using one of the faux burlap bags from Dollar Tree. I love crafting with these. You can just cut the front and the back off of these and you have a great sheet of faux burlap. It's got like a light plastic coating on the back, so it's easy to cut. It doesn't fray or anything like that, and it's great for crafting. So I just cut the front panel off, cut the handle out, and I have a great piece of burlap. This is this cute little hexagon sign with the wood bead hanger on the top. And I want to see if I can combine this together with the honeycomb pattern. And this is going to be the sign for the back. Now I notice even though it is like a faux burlap, you can still see through it. And I could see that the frame is not black. And so I'm going to go in and paint it black so it will all look the same when it is behind, because the other hexagon sign is wider than that back sign. It needs the entire black background, including the frame. So I just go in there with some black acrylic paint and paint that. I'm glad I noticed that before I started attaching the burlap on there, because that would probably bother me. So once I got that painted black, I can cover the entire thing with burlap. I'm just going to go in there with some hot glue, put hot glue all along the edges. I did half of it at a time so my hot glue wouldn't set up, and just laid my faux burlap on there. I can always go back and cut it down to size once I get it attached. And even though it's got that plastic backing on there, you can still hot glue with it. It's a really thin plastic coating on the back. And then I did the same thing here with the bottom. Wanted to make sure that it was really secure. And this is going to be a great backdrop for the yellow honeycombs. Now that I have it glued, I'm just going to go in here and cut off my excess burlap. And again, the great thing about these bags is that you don't have to deal with a burlap fraying, so you don't have to seal the edges or anything like that when you go about cutting them. That's a nice neutral background, I think, for this honeycomb. See, I want to sit it right on top like that. And that's why I needed the frame too, because it's a slightly bigger than this back sign. To attach it, I'm just going to put it all together with hot glue. I just do hot glue along the outer edges. And I'm going to have to do it all at once so I can just sit it on there and glue it down. Just like that. I love the burlap backdrop. I think that looks really cute. Now, I like the wood bead hanger on this one, but I thought it needed to be painted or distressed, so I decided to kind of just flip it over, use some Antique Wax by Waverly on those wood beads, using a brush to get down in there and wipe off the excess stain. Easy peasy, I don't have to do anything. I don't have to detach the hanger or anything like that. And then I thought the last thing it needed was a flower. I found these really cute, like white and yellow cone flowers from the Dollar Tree. Goes great with the bee theme. And I'm going to use one of those to decorate this little honeycomb cell as well. I think that looks really cute. I think maybe up here in the corner. I'm going to cut it down a little bit so it doesn't stick out quite as much and just attach that with hot glue. And I think it's so cute. So you can find a little honeycomb cutout sign like this from the Dollar Tree. And this is a fun way to craft with it. So let me show you how it turned out. I love the fact that the little bee on there is yellow, but distressed to look like wood. Just gives another fun option if you don't want to paint all of the details on one of those Dollar Tree bees. But I think the burlap looks really cool. The backdrop of the bright yellow honeycomb shapes on there. And this is how this one turned out.